Yes, people. We are back live. We are back live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube for another Manchester United, Chelsea, Tottenham Hotspur show. Man United podcast meets Ballers at the Bridge podcast meets Talking That Tottenham Talk. So please keep all your comments and all your questions, Manchester United, Chelsea, or Tottenham Hotspur related, please, people. Big up to everyone supporting as always in regards to Sarcasm City TV. Love to each and every one of you lot. Let's bump up the likes though. As soon as you land, let's hit that like button. Already over 30 of you lot in the building, only at 11 likes. Let's bump that up to 20 likes. Please share this across all of the socials as well. Share this across all of the socials. And on top of those two things, make sure you subscribe to the channel, Sarcasm City TV as well. Hit that notification bell when you do. We got Surfer in the building representing Chelsea. We got Jez in the building representing Tottenham. What are you saying, Surfer, first and foremost? You good?
Yeah, all good. All good. Another week rolls by. Yeah, nothing too much. It's all good.
I hear that. We'll get into all things. Yeah, we'll discuss all things Chelsea, people, in regards to obviously Chelsea still chasing Caicedo. I think this is the first. Is this the first show we've done since Poch got announced and did an interview and everything like that, or did we do one last week?
It's the first since you got since
interview. The interview did.
Yeah, it's the first since the interview, so we'll discuss that. Jez, what are you telling me, fam? You good?
Yeah, man, I'm good, man. Hope everyone is good as well. Hope in the chat everyone is good as well.
Yeah, man. Large up everybody in the chat as always. Let's run through some of the comments. Big up Warrior J, who says, big up Flawless Jez and Surfer. Stephanie G says, big up Flawless Jez and Surfer. Will Kane finally escape from Levy's Alcatraz? And who is more likely to get his services, United or Chelsea, to be reunited with Poch? So obviously that's in the title. So we got David De Gea officially leaving Manchester United. Harry Kane to Bayern Munich. That rumor's still flying about. And like I mentioned, Chelsea still chasing Caicedo and the Poch news as well. But in regards to Harry Kane, if he leaves, I'll say this. If he's available on a free, I can definitely see him going Chelsea. To me, that probably puts Chelsea in the driver's seat just because Poch is there. Otherwise, I would say it's Manchester United. But if he's available, say it's 2024, let's fast forward 12 months, I could see him going Chelsea, which for chaos purposes would be brilliant. Like it would be absolutely A1 content. It would be A1 conversation. That would be the new age Sol Campbell going to Arsenal, leaving Spurs. It'll be that, but now, so there'd be so much more.
I disagree with that one.
Yeah, go on, fam. Go on.
I disagree with that one, to be honest. I don't think it's like Sol Campbell. Like,
how come you don't think it's like Sol? Go on.
I mean, Sol literally said in the interview, getting asked, "You're not gonna go Arsenal, are you?" And he said, "No." And then he went to Arsenal, and yeah, Chelsea are rivals, but like Arsenal is like the direct number one in it. It's like like all people hate Chelsea, but they hate Arsenal just more. So I don't look at it the same, to be honest. And I think I don't know. Like the thing is, I said this already. Like I said it somewhere. I don't know, but I wouldn't feel like if Kane goes to Chelsea, obviously it would be a bad feeling, but I wouldn't feel as like angry because again, we know the situation. What the situation is, and like you don't want to sell. The player has indicated he wants to go. You know, there's a manager at Chelsea who has worked with, and they have a good relationship. So when you really work 1+1, you as the ownership gotta understand that you're putting yourself in a risk. So for me, like I'm not getting angry at Kane if he goes Chelsea. Generally speaking, I get more angry at the ownership for letting it happen because you don't need to be a rocket science. Like with Sol Campbell, I don't think it was like a thing where people were expecting him to go to Arsenal or even thinking about him going to Arsenal. But this situation, you can kind of add it up, considering it's where the push is there as well. You kind of it just sounds right, you know. Like unlike Sol Campbell, where you say, "Oh, Sol Campbell leaves on a free Tottenham go Arsenal," it didn't sound that doesn't sound right to me. But Kane,
I don't think you care too tough, but Spurs fans would.
Just of course, you saw how they reacted to the Poch thing. We can get onto that as well, which I have to say some words about as well. But for me, from my perspective, I look at more at the board. I don't know how we can look at Kane in this. I don't know how we can look at Kane in a situation like this, where you know you're putting yourself in this type of when you know you're putting yourself in this type of thing, and then Spurs. What I don't like is when Spurs fans just gonna pretend like there's no chance it's gonna happen. It's a possibility, and it's the reality.
Yeah. here's the thing: is you personally wouldn't care. And like you said, it'd be on the board, but you're asking football fans to be logical, and we know they.
Of course, like, but then again, then they can be emotional all they want, to be honest.
Right.
Then that's their fault. Then. If they want to be, and I'm gonna talk about the Poch thing as well when we get to that. But if they want to be emotional, then I don't really care, to be honest, because it should have been logical. Like I don't work on emotions. I work on
you don't.
things.
This is ironic. This is one of the main reasons that we get on is because you don't lead with emotions. But if Kane, and plus because it's in the social media era, which makes it worse. Kane in a Chelsea shirt.
Oh yeah, it's gonna get hella ratted, bro.
Would be absolutely
then
that gets
see,
posted
like,
on Twitter and Instagram and everything like that.
100%. Like you're gonna see it on like Sky Sports and shit. You're gonna see you see the interview when Poch and Kane, that's like the handshake, and we expect big things from you soon. That, all the type of stuff. And then Kane in the interview, he's gonna say, yo, we're here to win trophies and shit. And of course, like I agree with you. I expect people to still be emotional.
People will go for Chelsea fans.
Tottenham.
Spurs fans will go absolutely nuts, and you'll have Chelsea fans like Surfer, like Lewis on his villain arc, like all the Chelsea guys you see here. Absolutely. What's the word I'm looking for? Not even pouring salt in the wound, like more than salt. I don't know what's more than salt.
I know what you're talking about. Like you,
like not to you, just because you're not fuss, but like I'm talking Spurs fans who have like that stronger hatred than you do for a Chelsea, for example. Arsenal,
don't get it twisted. Like, it's not like I don't hate Chelsea or anything.
We all hate them. They're pricks.
But like it's not like I don't hate Chelsea, but for me, it's like if you can't add 1 + 1 together, then I'm sorry. Then if you want to be emotional, be emotional. And I'll be honest, if you see it on your social media, delete your social media if you can't deal with your emotions. Like I said, I'm somebody that works on. I'm somebody that works on logic. I don't work with emotion. Like it's only a few times, but I let my emotions actually go, and you will see. Which I have to talk about earlier because I saw somebody that I actually in a group chat with. People were going in his comments for calling them racist about the Indomitable thing, but it's for later. But
wait, people were calling who racist?
No. Somebody was getting abused in the comments for calling other Spurs fans racist about the Indomitable situation.
Okay, got you.
Yeah,
got you.
But like I said, bro, like if you was that bothered, delete your socials. I'll be honest.
No, I hear you. But like I said, I could see protests. I could see protests outside the ground for that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? And I don't see it, yo.
Bro, these guys. I'll be honest. You know what it's gonna be like? It's gonna be a protest of 30 people because nobody really gives a fuck like that. Like I'm hearing apparently they want to do a protest for first game of the season because apparently for the normal match day tickets they want to raise the prices and apparently they are talking about protests, bro. People are not gonna give a fuck. Like there's gonna be probably like 30-40 people there max, and then they're gonna be leave me out, and then they're gonna go into the stadium and watch the game. Come on, man! Like, see, that's what I'm saying. Like,
that's a fair point. Like I say, I just know that socials.
It's gonna be carnage. It's gonna be carnage. But you know what?
It happens, and I could see. And the thing is, if he's available on a free, I think that's where he ends up. Legit, see, because if Poch is there, if Poch is not there,
Poch is gonna be there.
Manchester United. Yeah. Hey, you never know with Chelsea.
Nah, but you know,
you never know.
What's it? You never know. But
you never know with Chelsea. I rate Poch. I actually think he'll do a good job there.
He can't do worse than last season.
Yeah, it's Todd B I don't trust over there. And when I say that, not like I care, but I'm saying I could see him making an irrational decision in that. Like he seems like the type I could be wrong. Nothing's guaranteed in football, especially at Chelsea.
I believe, see, because for me, and I let Surf on an opinion. I probably know what he probably thinks about it, but for me, see, when the whole Poch thing happened, and we're gonna get to that soon. You know what I was like? I'm muting my Spurs group chat because people were getting angry. I was muting them. I was staying off social media so I don't have to watch that shit. Because again, like I don't get it. When people see something that makes them emotional, angry, why are you looking at it even more? Because it's gonna make you even more angry. Like I'm seeing people still putting quotes that Poch is saying in the group chats just to get angry about it. Like I'm like, yo, just ignore the quotes and just let him do what he does at Chelsea. But anyways, like Surfer, you can take your turn about it.
Well, yeah, Surfer, your thoughts on this? Actually, before we get to that, now over 60 of you lot in the building. Big up, But let's bump up these likes, people. Like check 1212. Like check 1212. When you enter the city of Sarcasm, pay the tax, people. It's free. All I need you lot to do is hit the free things. Hit the like button. So we're at 23 likes. Let's get that up to 40 likes, people. Please share this across all of the socials. At That's Me Flawless. At Sarcasm City TV on all socials. Please share it across all social media apps you are active on. And on top of those two things, subscribe as well to the channel Sarcasm City TV. We are at 7,139. There's over 60 of you lot in here. Looking for one more subscriber to get us to 7,140. Just refreshing now. Yeah, still looking for one subscriber to get us to that. And continue to get your questions in. I've started the best questions, people. And of course, if you super chat, I will get straight to your comment or your question as well. But Zephyr, your thoughts on what me and Jez have been discussing in regards to Harry Kane, and do you think you become favourites if he does leave on a free in 12 months if Poch is still in charge, or do you think he goes elsewhere?
I think it all depends if we buy a striker this summer and it clicks, or if we buy like a Tony in January or something like that and it clicks. Then I don't think we go for him, because by the time next summer rolls around, you will be turning 31 years old.
I think that comes. I think 32.
No, it'd be 31.
I'm 31. Oh yeah. Sorry, I was thinking about Son.
Yeah. So,
Mary's Son that old? Sorry to cut you off.
No way.
Ironically, he would have been 33, but because there's a new rule in Korea, he got 1 year younger. So, and yesterday, ironically, was his birthday.
Yeah.
Why did I think Son was just like late 20s? But go on, carry on. Sorry.
So if you look at the clubs around it, I don't think he'd go to Arsenal at all. Liverpool probably don't need him, especially like, I know some people might find this laugh, especially like Darwin Núñez does better this season, sort of. Do you know what I mean? In goal tally and stuff like that. If United get Højlund and something like that, and he kicks, but they go, we don't want to bring Harry Kane in because it will affect Højlund and something like that. Maybe they'll think again. No need to go to City. They've got Haaland and Alvarez. Yeah. Newcastle, they might think, well, we've got Callum Wilson. What's Isak done this season? Something like that. His options really, and there isn't no options really.
They're extremely limited.
That's why I think he'll actually stay and sign a new contract.
I think he'll sign a new deal. Don't get it mistaken. That's still standing. I think he signs a new deal. Yeah.
I think he'll sign a new deal, but they'll have maybe a buyout clause in there, and maybe like 80 or something like that for next summer because of his age and stuff like that. But no, yeah, if it doesn't work out, yeah, I would. I don't know. It would sort of go against our policy because we're buying a load of young players. I don't know. I really don't know. It depends if Poch wants to do that all again. Do you know what I mean? I'm not too sure. Especially if we get like a Vlahovic or like a Tony in January, or maybe even this Nick Jackson just surprises people because no one knows about him. Not even his own new fans know anything about him. It's true. And he hits it off. You know what I mean? It's like maybe, and we're only playing once a week, and he's looking at Poch, looking at going, well, do you know what? I've actually got this new lump of clay is actually to mold into what I want, and he's like 22, I think, something like that. I can mold him into, what I have. And Harry Kane, he's now going on. He's 30 now, and he likes to drop back a bit. Why would I do? What if Nkunku clicks? What's the point in bringing Harry Kane in? Nkunku plays there again. Look at.
I think it's on the striker situation, like you said. Yeah. It's on the number 9 for you lot. Same way I think it's on the number 9 for us and what we do on the number 9 potentially for Liverpool if he is indeed available on a free. Because I don't see all of the clubs that we mentioned sorting out their number 9 positions all this season. I think one of them will go wrong, if not more. Whether that's Manchester United, whether that's Chelsea, whether that's a Liverpool, whether that's an Arsenal. Like, this opens the doors for like a lot. Like for those 4. City, I think, are the only ones that I say. Even a Bayern Munich, or maybe even someone in Europe, like a Bayern Munich, like a Real Madrid, like a Barcelona, depending on what's going on. At PSG, just for example. We'll go.
I don't see Barcelona personally because, I don't even know how to sign in players. I'm seeing guys getting signed, and they're talking about how they have to wait till January because of the FFP. Like they just getting away with it because nobody gets one.
They just signed Victor Roque, didn't they? Or something
yeah, but because of registration rules, because of registration rules, they're signing for January, not for summer.
That's
Right.
crazy.
So I
don't know what.
I think it's easy. I don't know. I think he, I think he's like I said, I think he's. You know what? I think he stays at Tottenham for the rest of his
Oh
career.
yeah, I think I've said
I
this.
think that's for me. That's a
I think he
possibility.
does.
I agree.
I think he does.
There's a possibility. See, see. For me, I don't count out anything. To be honest, like I 100% heard the Chelsea thing. Like to be honest, I'm even someone who brought it up very early, saying that if he doesn't extend, I can see him definitely go Chelsea. I know some Tottenham fans will refuse until you actually see that themselves, but I'm just a realist. But that doesn't mean I don't believe Bayern Munich or Real Madrid, for example, outside from Europe, would come
When
in.
you want to see that picture of, when a player goes to a club, and it's a picture of him in his what would have been his current top, right?
Yeah.
The Spurs one, but then when he goes somewhere, they sort of rip it in the middle, and it's like the new top.
Yeah,
like a blue in the middle. Like
you know what I'm saying? Like Beecher Report would go crazy with that edit. I'll be honest, but now because there was a quote that came out, or not even a quote, but more of like reliable sources talking about how Kane feels like even if he goes outside in Europe, he still feel like he can still score at the rate that he's scoring up till 40. So he believes he could go if he ends up also Europe. He believes he can stay there maybe for 2-3 years, come back to the Premier League, and then just bang for the rest of league just goals only, so he can just go and break the record later on, in case he goes outside from Europe. And that's why he's open to even leave this summer to a Bayern Munich or to a Real Madrid if they were to come in. Obviously, I saw a report today saying that, and these people are so shameless. Bayern Munich, like, apparently they're gonna up the offer by 10 million to make it from 60 to 70, and that's in pounds. Like Mason Mount went for 60 million. You think Levy's gonna take 10 more?
Yeah.
Like he's not going Bayern. I guarantee. Like he's gonna stay. I don't think.
Yeah, I think he stays. I've said this. I think he stays at Spurs. I think. Again, this is just me from the outside looking in. I think he's content. I think he's happy.
Yeah, I think he's settled. I feel like
I think he is, and that's not a shot at him. Like I think he could go on to do more. But I've said it before. At Spurs, there's a safety net.
100%. I said this before. Like wherever it's gonna be Chelsea or Liverpool or United, Madrid, Bayern, the expectation is that you need to be the needle mover. And if you're not gonna be that, even if you let's say win a Carabao Cup or FA Cup, it's not gonna be enough because they look at you in terms of like which the prestigious of club to join, and be like, so you only could bring that club an FA Cup or Carabao Cup, which these clubs already won multiple times without you, with even worse squads than you, to be honest as well. So I feel like it wouldn't be enough, but at Tottenham it would have been enough considering of the lack of silver compared to these other clubs. It's prestige as well. So
I just don't understand that when they signed that new contract, that even the idea of putting in like a buyout clause wasn't even mentioned. You know what I mean? Right, to go, you know what? But if someone bids this much, then I can go like Jack.
Because this is the thing. His brother.
I don't understand why that was never brought up. That's
because his brother.
If you had a proper agent, that's what I mean. If you had a proper agent, you would have actually had floated that idea at least.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, right? It was 2018. I think he signed that new contract.
Yeah, 2018.
So it wasn't even like in the like say the prime of the Poch run, sort of like coming out near the end, right? They'd had the two previous seasons of coming close in the one close in the league sort of thing. So they won't even got to the Champions League and stuff like that. So I would have gone, yeah, it's great and everything. I'll commit, but I'm going to put in a buyout clause just to make sure, because it's now 30. It's going to be 30 this month. Mm-hmm. So no matter, he did great last season, but last season he was basically stat padding.
Yeah,
most of it. Do you know what I mean? Especially second half when they weren't going to get in.
Second half. Like people are going to remember that people flexing his 30 goals, which is impressive considering how bad we was playing wise. Yeah. But people have to understand, he scored goals when we were losing like 3-1 or 3-2.
He scored that your only goal against Newcastle in the 6-1.
Right? So you want to talk to me about one of his 30 goals was against Newcastle? Yeah, when we lost 6, when we conceded like 5 before that.
When he lost to Brentford, right, 3-1, he scored the only goal.
Like he scored a lot of teams. That's why I say this season before, ironically, when we made top 4, he scored 18 goals. He took pretty much a half a season off a break. No, was it last season? Not last season. Yeah, last season it was. He took half a season off a break. He scored less goals, half of what he scored from this season. And I think that season he was better for the team because he not only was he not stepping up in moments to us win us games, but also he was just performing better. Like this season, it feels more like, yo, I just get the goals and I'm out of here. Like, you're not really like, yo, I just wanna end my shift. And that's it. Like, I'm gonna leave, I'm gonna go home. This is what it feels like to me this season. But like, yes, you scored 30 goals, but how did the team itself play? Like,
it is reminiscent of Alan Shearer if you think about it when he was at Newcastle, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like most seasons, apart from a couple of seasons in the Champions League, but most seasons it was just him scoring, and it's like, yeah, whatever. It didn't amount to anything apart from just adding goals to the records, sort of thing. So, you know,
I mean, Kane. Yeah, I mean, football is the game. Like, yeah, Kane is doing his goals. He's a striker, but I feel like you have two types of strikers. Strikers that help your team win shit, and then you have the strikers who just bear goals. Like, there's a lot of strikers who can score goals, but I feel like there's also different type of strikers who they maybe don't score as much as Kane last season did, but they help leading their teams to somewhere. This is what I feel like. Like
overachieve or something like that. Even in a league position, like I wax lyrical in particular about Ivan Toney. Look at what he helps Brentford do. I'm saying, look at where Brentford are at. Look at what he did the first season. Help Brentford stay in the Premier League comfortably. That's an achievement. That's his goal, and he's done that. The second season, right? Where did they finish this season? Just gone.
I think they finished like 10th or 9th.
Oh, 10th or 9th.
Yeah,
quality for a top half finish. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but I remember as well, narrative was like second season syndrome as well.
Exactly. So like he's done his job twice, and he's someone I put nowhere. I don't put him in nowhere near the bracket of Harry Kane. He's not world class. As much as I rate, he's nowhere near.
I mean, football is the game. You can say that, but Kane was in better teams that he could possibly join. Like, I believe our team. Let's say he joins Chelsea. This current Chelsea squad. Or let's actually, you know what? I'm even gonna be fair. I put Caicedo in this Chelsea squad, current Chelsea squad. So it's Caicedo. Let's say Kepa in goal is for now, but and then the team that they already have, but just Kane up front and Caicedo there. I still don't think that Chelsea team that next season would be better than the team that he was in with us, with Poch. That's how good I think our team was.
That team was quality. That team that he was in.
People maybe underestimate the team because they never won anything, which is fair. But that team got also to a Champions League final, and
it's a quality side.
It was a very good side. Like, it's the narrative for me with that team. The narrative is how we didn't achieve much with that team, but Harry Kane was a younger Kane who can actually impress. Like, you gotta, and this is one thing I was thinking about. If Kane actually does go Chelsea, he does. This is not the same Harry Kane that Poch was using. Like, you gotta remember, like Poch, like everybody gotta press to a high level. Kane is not pressing shit. So he would be, if he were to go to Chelsea next season, he would be a lottery player, like where he can't press as much as the others, but then the other guys have to do even more. But that's just because I'm trying to see right now, like, which is the funny part. Like,
you'd have to change his game.
Both Man United and Newcastle scored less goals than us last season in the Premier League. But it doesn't feel like, of course, because we concede a lot of goals, but in the same time, these goals didn't brought us to something. Like, for me, I always look at it like I want somebody that can help the team achieve something rather than just, like, for example, the season when we make top 4, we scored less goals.
That's true.
I mean, we scored more goals this season, but we did a lot worse. And this is my thing. Like, I feel like Kane this is just Kane as a personality or as a footballer, because even for England, it's like, yes, he scores goals, but then he's not leading England to something. And this is the issue that I have with someone like Kane sometimes. But I don't know. Like I said, for me, there's a lot of clubs he's going to be option. I'll be honest. If let's say 6 months in, and you heard about how Harry Kane is close to signing a new deal at Tottenham, I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest. I feel like Levy would go over the top and even offer him some crazy money just for him that would put him up with one of the best honors in the leagues because he's getting paid good, but not in terms of his base, not on his base wage. It's more so his performances, and obviously Harry Kane will always perform. But I think if Lewy would put his base wages higher with the bonuses, I think there's supposed might consider like, you know what, I'm staying. Like, because I told you last time, I don't. Even though I think there's a possibility 100% he goes Chelsea, I just don't think he has it in him. I don't think he has the dog in him to do it.
Well, I think if he looks at the signing of James Maddison, then he might go, you know what? And because he's thinking about that record, I don't really have to do much. Just nodding the goals.
That's a good front two.
Do you know what I mean?
Well,
I don't have to be the scorer and the creator at this club anymore. Do you know what I mean? Maybe Kulusevski will buck his ideas up, and Son will be back or to his purple patch form, something like that. But with James Maddison in there to actually have some actual 10 in there. Because, you know, did well with Dele Alli starting with Christian Eriksen in there. So actually to have someone in there who will facilitate him where he can just go, I can just stay, I don't have to run around and drop deep and play long balls and stuff like that. I can literally be a tapping merchant. Do you know what I mean? I can just get my goals. You know what I mean? I did this without a 10, scoring 30 goals. What can I do with a 10? Do you know what I mean? I could get so close this season to the record that in the starting season 24-25, I can actually get it. Do you know what I mean? Stuff like that. So,
and just to clarify to Footballers Game says, Kane ain't a snake like that to join Chelsea. Please focus on Fofana respectfully. I want to get to the first part of this. If Kane is out of contract and leaves Spurs and goes to Chelsea and goes to, I was going to say, we got to stop using words like Kane is not a snake if he leaves Spurs and goes to Chelsea, if he leaves Spurs and goes to Arsenal, if he leaves Spurs and went to Brentford or West Ham. Yeah, I think it's just a shot up. But yeah, like, let's not do that. He's not a snake.
No. Wait.
Leicester fan?
No, I don't think he's a Leicester fan. I think he's just saying it in general, I think. But no, Kane, see, if I was my 16-year-old self, when Katie was still with us at Oklahoma, and he went to the Warriors, I was calling him back then a snake because I was like young and emotional. No, I'm like obviously grown older, and I'm like, nah, it wouldn't be a snake move. It's more of like, yes, you would be fuming at him and be like, yo, how can you do this? But again, you're making the player make the decision, and let's say Chelsea throws the bag at him. He's going to consider it because, again, it's not only for him because he thinks it's the best opportunity to win trophies, but also he's getting paid good money. So I can't call it a snake. I can't.
Big up Bajan Pops as well. Love to see my Bajans in the building. Go on, carry
on. Bob's in the chat as well. Big up Bobs.
Oh, big up Bits and Bobs, man. Been a minute. Yeah. Shout out Bits and Bobs, man. You know what I'm saying? Every single time. Big up. Yeah, go on.
I think if Chelsea had an inkling that he wanted to join us, or was open to it, or Spurs were open to it, we'd be on there. But I just don't think we're looking to pay that big of a transfer for someone is going to be 30. Do you know what I mean? The way we're looking at the profile of player, which is like why we're looking at a Vlahovic for like between anywhere from 60 to 70 million euros or something like that. I don't know. It would have to be. We know what Chelsea like. They like to do it. They like to structure those payments. Even the new thing now, they're going to look to pay over a certain thing. And just Daniel, I just don't think Daniel Levy would sell to a.
Oh, 100% he wouldn't.
I just don't think he will. I think he'd take the hit and risk him going on a free next year. I really would. I think he's that stubborn.
But the funny thing is so about it. I came even with terms of like him going on a free, and I was I was thinking this way as well. Like, yes, like we're not gonna get any money, and is it maybe poor considering that the teams were putting money into him, that we could have sold him? Yeah, I 100% agree with that. But like I said this already last time, I think if Kane leaves on the free, I'm not gonna really be mad about him leaving on the free instead of selling because I just don't have enough trust in the club, even with the money that we get from Kane to replace him. Like, for me, I would be even more scared that the club has the money from the sale because this is then where they can just go stupid, make stupid decisions where, like, I feel like if they don't get that money and they have to use their own pockets, not from the Kane money, I think there would be more wiser in their decisions of who they just bring in, or you're gonna get the same situation as we had with the Bell money, where literally, I think it was only Eriksen in that transfer who actually bang. All of them were bust. So I don't really trust the club. And I think also another reason why I probably feel like that is because the club is going to make their money just in a year by itself. I feel like there wouldn't be like, I just don't think there wouldn't be too fast. That's why I don't think Levy would go and take that risk, knowing that you lose on the free and get no money for him, if he didn't really believe that he could make the money just easily back. It's like the same thing when I say Real Madrid is not going to pay a certain amount of money. Real Madrid is going to make a profit of Mbappe if they buy him for 200 million. They're going to make more out of it. If, let's say, for argument's sake, Real Madrid buys him for 200 million out of PSG, they're going to probably double that 200 million. Or they're definitely making it back within a year. So I look at it just that way, and it's disappointing how the era ended. But I always feel like if he does leave, it can be a start of just something new. Because I felt like even with Son, I said already, like I think we just have to let these two go at some point to really start. Like, yes, we want to actually move on from just the whole Poch era. Because these are, of course, like there's guys like Dyer there who's still part of it, but let's be honest, they weren't like he wasn't a major part of that era. It's like guys like who were Dilly, Tatogan, Jan. Sorry, no, this was Jan, Toby. Those are these guys. These were like the main core. Pretty much all of them are pretty much gone, other than Kane and Son.
Well,
So
I hear you from.
it is what it is, to be honest. Like, I'm just gotta accept that it just didn't work out, to be honest. And for me, it's common. Like, I just want a project under Postecoglou, and to be honest, I'm already encouraged in terms of players we signing, to be honest, and we've been linked with. I know guys are complaining, but
Before you go, Surfer, big up to Nero as well. Says big up the man, them get the likes up. Big up the young G Nero. You can catch him. He was on the last Man Them United with me and Eddie. So make sure you check that out. 2-hour episode. Spoke about a lot. So make sure you go and check that out. Now over 100 of you lot in the building. Big up to everybody. Please continue to share this across the social so we can get up to 120, 130 people in here. But we're only at 49 likes. That's not enough, people. Let's get us up to 80 likes. Likes is way too low. Over 100, like I said, people in the building right now watching. We're at 50 likes. Let's get that up to 80 likes. Hit that subscribe button as well. We're at 7,140. We're only looking for 5 more subscribers, people. Get us to 7,145. I know there's at least 5 people who have not hit the subscribe button, and you're here enjoying the content. That's all well and good. But let's hit that like button. Let's share this across all the socials, and let's hit that subscribe button as well. And also, like Warrior J said, make sure you subscribe to the Young G Nero Knows Ball as well. But yeah,
put his channel in the chat as well, people.
I was just going to think though. I think it's just unfair to Postecoglou to have this situation going into the new season.
Yeah, it's
like every press conference is going to be like, so. Do you think Kane's going to sign a new contract? Is he going to stay even when the season starts? Right? Yes, stuff like that. It's going to be like so many. They're going to work around asking the same question, but it's just going to be asked differently. And that was my fear with like Mount and Pochettino. Was like he's going to come in and be asked everything, and he literally, and that's not happening now. It's gone. It's not happening. So it's like just I especially if he stays and he hasn't signed a new contract. And it's going to be like, oh, yeah, so is Kane going to sign? Because literally, like, it's countdown to January where he can sign a pre-contract with a foreign club from January the 1st, like a pre-contract, something like that. So it's like, oh, what's going to happen? Is Kane going to stay? It's like, it'll get, like, real tiresome. Do you know what I mean? You can see him possibly, like, being angry and break down. I don't know, like, stuff like, ask the club, I don't know. He's just here and stuff like that. And I just think of a new era to actually for Postecoglou to try and succeed, as much as that might be whatever the succeeding is at Spurs at this moment in time. To have that just overhead, just if he's going to sign or is he going to go? Is he going to sign? And he must be doing that as well, privately going, well, how can what do I? Obviously, he's a world-class player, so you're going to have to plan with him in the team. But is he going to only have him for a year?
What's he going to do? How does that affect your short-term and long-term plans?
Do I focus attention on Richarlison? Was Richarlison my type of striker? Do I urge the board to buy the type of striker in now, so it's not a phasing in period from next summer, and he's good to go next summer? You know what I mean? It's not a. It's a lot.
It's a lot for the manager. It's I think it's just the same thing when Nuno even came in. It was the exact same situation with him with City. And it was even worse because I feel like then Kane was actively wanting to go to to City, and he was even doing an interview with Neville. This time, Kane is fine if he has to stay another season. Like Ryan Mason could have been the manager, and I think he would have still be fine staying over one season, just to leave on a free. This how much he's content staying, but. I saw reports a couple of weeks ago. I think they have already some sort of idea where, in case Kane does get sold, and they don't want to bring in a striker in this month and this window, the plan is to go with Son and Richarlison through the middle. Because when I looked at Postecoglou's system, it kind of makes sense. Like, which is funny because I had debates. Does even Kane fit the Postecoglou system? But because how unique Kane is, you just have to make it work. But the plan was have these two be the strikers for the season, and then go and invest heavy with the Kane money on the right areas because they don't believe currently they would have an idea of who they really want to bring in. So they would go with them two as strikers, so they have a whole year to just go through for potential candidates for the next summers going forward. And to be honest, I don't even hate the idea, to be honest. Considering how Postecoglou wants the striker to play, I feel like people were crazy thinking like, how can you play some striker? But I think it fits even more, to be honest, in this system than playing out wide. Because Coglou wants proper wingers. He wants you to be like the old school winger, hugging the touchline, coming inside if you have to, not working in between like as an inside forward pretty much. He doesn't want that. So I would be content with that. But either way, I said already, if Kane leaves this summer, I would be actually more glad, to be honest, than him leaving on a free. Because again, you get the money, you decreasing the chance of him going to a rival, aka Chelsea, aka United, for example, and you get money out of it. But if he leaves on a free, he leaves on a free. And from my perspective, and that's mine, like I don't know if there's Spurs fans in the chat. I don't know, but from my perspective, I wouldn't call him a snake if he goes to Chelsea. I wouldn't hate it. Would I be would I be pissed? Would I be pissed? Yes, I would be pissed. But I wouldn't be angry like I would with sentiment or anything. Why? Because we let it as a club happen to begin with.
I hear exactly what you're saying. But yeah, he's definitely, if he goes Chelsea, he's not a snake, because it's kind of like people, and I get onto the De Gea topic because people have been asking about it, but it's kind of similar with that in regards to all people saying, oh, you might just, well, yeah, there's no snake people like in football. Footballers, managers are not snakes. Once you realize and understand that the vast majority, 99.9% of them are out for themselves, and that's not a bad thing. You should be out for yourself.
It should be,
because if you fall off as a manager, the club will sack you. If you fall off as a player, the club will drop you, the club will sell you. Understand this loyalty in football, people. Yeah, fans as well. This loyalty in football is a myth. Football is a what have you done for me now? So we need to cut out this snake. You're not in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, people act like it's a husband and wife. You know what I'm saying? Boyfriend and girlfriend type thing. It's not that. Like it's a parent to a child. No. That's where all those relationships I just mentioned, there's genuine loyalty there. In football, 99.9% of players, if they get a better offer at a better club in a better situation, will move. Same way with a manager. We've seen this happen. We've seen Mount, who is quote-unquote proper Chelsea, go to Manchester United. Havertz, who's quote-unquote proper Chelsea, go to Manchester United. De Gea, who people are saying, how are we being so disrespectful to David De Gea? Even though I don't think people are, they're just commenting on his level and where he's at. De Gea tried to leave to go to Real Madrid. What are we talking about here? Wayne Rooney, for example, this just popped in my head as Jez was talking, put in a transfer request. Steven Gerrard, who's the most Liverpool player you can think of, put in 2 transfer requests and tried to go to Chelsea twice. What are we talking about? Back-to-back summers he did. What are we talking about? This loyalty thing is a myth, people.
And he only stayed.
Are not your friends. They're not your brethren. Yeah, go on.
He only stayed, Steven Gerrard, because don't give me all this Liverpool shit. His family got threatened. That's why he stayed at Liverpool. Facts. He got threats against his family. None of this. So you know what I mean? Don't give me all this like Mr.
You know what funny is?
The business and just by the way, football is the game quickly. Who says that's like Rashi going to? There's exception to rules. Like for instance, Gary Neville, I believe, is someone if he got offered a better situation and more money to go and play for a rival, would reject it. But most players are not like that. There's very few.
Mr. Chelsea, John Terry, would have gone to Man City if he didn't get a new contract and a pay rise in 2009. That's Mr.
Chelsea.
John, Mr. Chelsea.
I'm saying, Mr. Chelsea. You know what I'm saying? Someone who's a legend at Chelsea Football Club. Same with Manchester United. So of our players, if Rooney had a statue outside of Manchester United Stadium, outside of Old Trafford, nobody would say anything. He tried to
If you remember the famous story for us, you'll probably remember this, Jez Warren. Roy Keane, his contract was winding down.
Yeah, I remember that.
He's going to be a free transfer. Do you remember the stories linking him with Juventus?
Yep.
But then United paid up, didn't they?
Juventus, Real Madrid, I said, most players will leave. So forget all of this. So they're not wrong for that. They're not wrong. I'm not criticizing them. If I was a player, I'd do the exact same thing. We're going.
So let me break this fourth wall. Footballers, it's a job. The only difference is it's an entertainment job. Okay, that's what it is. It's a job for them. Okay. None of this, who supported them when he was... I don't care. I really hate that. Oh, he supported Chelsea. I don't care. Do you know what I mean? Why would he go there? Money. How about that? Like you wouldn't. Do you know what I mean? I really... And like you said, I don't mind this, like with Mount this week. I don't care. He's gone. And this whole thing about, oh, yeah, there's video of him and his dad going, yeah, it's home. And so, yeah, it's his new home. Who cares? He's not our problem anymore. Do you know what I mean? I really hate... I want Chelsea fans... So this week... Are they the same Chelsea fans that were telling Spurs fans to stop moaning about what Pochettino was saying, but then complaining about what Mount was doing during this week? Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The only Chelsea fans who should be upset with this Mount thing are the ones who were riding his you-know-what for the past 3 years. You know what I mean? Those are the only Chelsea fans who should be upset because, let's face it, man, ironically, he's gone to a PR company, but that was one of the worst videos, the goodbye videos I've ever seen in my life.
It wasn't.
Look at that. Look at that compared to Aspie's video. Yeah, it's like a before, what you shouldn't do, and what you should do afterwards. You know what I mean? And I was like thinking, it's all about PR. You said it. I think you and shout out to Nuruddin was like, yeah, he's a PR guy now, and he's gone to the best PR club in the world, no doubt, right? But it was ironic that as soon as that video came out and there grew a backlash, Didier Drogba came out, right? He said, oh, we shouldn't do this. You know who the PR company that Didier Drogba was represented by? The same one as Mason Mount. The same one. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But it's like, fans, like, what? My thing about why, like, I like, someone may have asked, why are you upset about Mount? Well, first of all, my goal's been achieved. He's left the club. So why am I upset? Second of all, yeah, his dad's a Man United fan, by the way, just in case no one knows this.
I didn't actually know that. His pops is a United fan.
Dad's a United fan. You wanted him to go to United to begin with. But he's there now. What's he going to go? Actually, do you know what? It's not as great as the Chelsea one. Do you know what I mean? Stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? And stuff like that. It's like, his video when he was doing, they had the fans there. Did you see his video based about who was going around Carrington?
I didn't know.
They had some fans there and they were able to take photos with him and stuff like that. It's beautiful PR. Absolutely beautiful. But it's like going, but then Chelsea fans are like, why are you upset with this? But then you're saying to Spurs fans, why are you getting upset about Poch? This doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense. If you're saying you're going to get upset about Poch because he's moved on to a different club, then why are you being upset? And I can only think it's one reason. It's the Chelsea fans upset, don't obviously realise don't know what irony is. And second, it's the ones that were backing Mason Mount to begin with. And I'm just sitting there going, whatever, man, just go. He's gone. We got what we wanted. Let's move. He's not our focus anymore. Do you know what I mean? Unless he comes out and says some other crap about us, then, it's all good. But,
facts. And big up to the chat. Big up. I see Jacob in the chat. Big up United Spurs of America. Big up TJ Warren as well. I was on TJ Warren TV, people, so make sure you go check that out as well. I shared it to the community page, but if you click the link on in his username anyway, it will pop up and you can go check me out on there. It was great to be over there on the American Idiot Show. Brilliant show. So make sure you go and check that out. Let's continue. Make sure you continue to bump up the likes. Only at 62 likes, people. What are we doing, man? 80 likes. Let's bump up these likes. Freeloaders. Let's bump up these likes and hit that subscribe button because it's over 115 of you lot now in here. I know everyone who hasn't hit the subscribe button. Continue to get your questions in as well. Please keep them Manchester United, Chelsea, or Tottenham Hotspur related. And there's a lot lot. I'm starting all the best questions, but to make sure your question gets read out, people hit that super chat button, and I'll make sure I get to it. But I will
With David
get
De
to all the
Gea.
best questions again. Yeah, that's what I was going to
David
get
De
to.
Gea, can I just say, like, the club treated it badly. You know, he's earning 350 grand a week.
We did
Right.
not. Yeah, people need to cut this. Like, he treated us
grand.
badly. I
Crazy.
keep reiterating. I don't know what year it was. Somebody in the chat, let me know. He
I
tried
think
to
it was the
leave
year. It
to
was the
go
year
to Real
before.
Madrid. Like, what are we doing?
2014.
Yeah, he tried to
2014,
leave us. Where was his loyalty to us?
Yeah.
Where was his loyalty to us? Where was his loyalty to the club? Where was his loyalty to the manager, the fans?
Yep.
That's why I don't feel a way about him leaving and the way it's happened.
It's only 80 before tax, 18 million pounds a year just in wages
like,
alone. The
what are we
past, like,
talking
what,
about?
4 years or something like that?
And people love to forget as well, because people love to use attitude problem and all this stuff. He was dropped. Van Gaal dropped him, as I keep reiterating, at the start of the season because his head wasn't right. So that means mentally he wasn't on it because he didn't get his moves. So whether he threw his toys out the pram, whether he was upset, whether he was angry, he was not in the best mental state to perform for the football club. So
And
no way whatsoever.
No doubt for 4 straight years when he won your Player of the Year, yeah, he kept you relevant in terms of league.
Absolutely.
But you know what? For then the 4 or 5 years afterwards, he hasn't been great. So it just balances itself out. Do you know what I mean? It's like, but like to go, we treated him so badly. It's like, well.
I mean, but then again, it goes.
Cool. And Bajan Pops mentioned it. He says he was their player of the season for years. Yeah, he was years ago. What is he doing now?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
what is he doing now? Boston, is it recent? No, there's no recency bias. He's not been the best right now. He can get moved on. That's why he's out of
FA Cup final goal.
Yes, he's currently on it. He's currently unemployed. If he was that good of a goalkeeper, he would not be currently unemployed.
Costing
you already signed it. You already would have signed the deal.
You would have already signed a deal. Guaranteed, I'll say right now, when Harry Kane's on a free, guaranteed he won't be unemployed.
Now, I'll be honest, like, I don't think it even gets to a situation where it's the 1st of July when all these free agents can officially sign their contract. But then Kane by then will already have a team by then. Like, the here is legit like a free agent. Like, you can just talk to him right now if you wanted to.
It's like, a free agent.
Exactly. Like, it's not like he had the terms already agreed with a team. Like, multiple teams tried to get him. Like, fucking, what's his name? The other Turan brother, the Gladbach one.
Marcus.
Marcus Turan. Even he got already signed even before.
He's Inter Milan, right?
Yeah, Inter Milan. Like, even he got his contract signed officially even before the
Bloody
official.
Azpilicueta's at Atletico Madrid. They only took 2 days. Yeah. You know what I mean? Even he's at
this is like a well past his time Aspi as well.
Yeah, exactly. But he got signed up in that got done in 2 days.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what it is. And Bajan Pops mentioned Golden Gloves. People don't get it mistaken. David De Gea has been a good servant to Manchester United. He's won every trophy at the football club, bar the Champions League. Thank you for your services. He's no longer good enough. It's time to move on. Simple as that. Let's say we sign Onana and Onana flops. We then go and sign another goal.
12 years. We're talking about 12. We're not talking about 1 or 2 years and he's like dropped or something. He's been there for 12 years. The same with Lloris at Spurs. Do you know what I mean? It's like 12 years.
We got his replacement and we realized, your time is up. No, the funny thing is, compared to De Gea, Lloris even accepted it, and he even came out and said, I want to leave the football club this summer because he realized he's not good enough for the club no more. So he has even the decency.
It's time to move on. And Ivan says, would you consider De Gea a legend? No, personally, no. But if people want to consider him a legend, I wouldn't argue them down because everybody's metrics are different. There's no set thing, like very similar to world class or the exact same as world class. Everybody's criteria for what a legend is different. How I look at personally as legend is if they were building a statue outside of the ground for you, would I look at that and go, nah, that's not right? And do I think De Gea deserves, or if De Gea say they was like, right, we're going to build a statue of De Gea outside of Old Trafford, I go, nah, I'd look at that funny. That's personally how I define legends. And that's my criteria. But everybody's criteria is different in regards to that. So I'm not arguing.
He's not above Van der Sar. He's definitely not above Van der Sar, Michael.
Exactly. He's not above either of those two. Yeah, no. He's not. He's not in his. Murtaza says flawless. We are free from the shackles of De Gea. He's gone. Time to celebrate. Hey, that's why you don't pay attention to press conferences, people. As I was telling you lot all during the latter part of the season when Van Gaal, when Ten Hag was in press conferences and saying, "Oh, he's still my number one. He's a good goalkeeper." Of course, he's gonna say that. You ain't gonna come out and butcher your players in public. And now look, it shows how highly he rates him that we've let him go on a free.
Both. It's very weird. De Gea had a contract offer that was pulled, right? A little bit of fuss, but nothing really much made of that about like the contract was pulled, the offer was pulled. So like Mason Mount had offered the verbal offer, but then that was pulled, but suddenly we treated him badly. Do you know what I mean? It's like I think it was listen. Even if he was coming down wages about 200 or something, you can't have a number 2 goalkeeper and 200 plus.
That's what I'm saying.
You can't. You just cannot have that. Like, United had that before. If you remember when they had De Gea on 350, Henderson on 160, and then was it Romeo or something like that? The third one was on 80.
Romero.
Romero's on 80 as a third choice goalkeeper.
Which is a lot.
80 grand. You were shelling out like 600 grand a week just for goalkeepers.
That's nuts.
Goalkeepers, I mean, it's just atrocious. That's the problem we have. Kepa's like on 150 or something.
Yeah,
we can't have. We get a goalkeeper, they got to be on minimum that or above. Do you know what I mean? Or we have to get a second choice. And
that's why Mendy got pissed, right? That's why
Mendy wanted parity, but he was out. He was just out of form.
Yeah.
There's no way we're going to have 2 goalkeepers on 150 grand a week. That's mad.
I don't like to see even goalkeepers in the first place. For me, like, I think how much is Alisson? Because I swear he's not even making near to 200.
No, but the way he performed last season, he should be.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Like, you got to understand. Like, I don't understand this thing of where goalkeepers are just getting these crazy pay. Like, I don't know how much Vicario's on, but I know for a fact, like, we are straight. Even Luis never made even that crazy money, but he was a good servant for us. And I said this already. Like, I feel like it was De Gea and Mason Mount. I don't get why there's too much of a fuss for 2 guys who are just mediocre at this moment in time. Yes, maybe at some time they were playing at a good level or high level. Back then,
they reckon Alisson's on 150 a week.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's weird that I saw the discourse about De Gea. I've seen people fighting each other. I've seen people blocking each other because of De Gea. I'm like, yo, like. If we get offered by if De Gea's agent offers himself to Tottenham, I'm going out to the stadium on protest on the day when the
I saw some Chelsea fans. Like,
yeah,
hey, would you have De Gea for 1 year? It's like, bro, I'd rather keep Kepa.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like
you guys don't want Poch to succeed, man. Like, I thought this what I was.
You don't want him to sit. You've already put an anchor on him with trying to play Kepa in goal for a season. You want to have De Gea? It's like, what's the point? You know what I mean? What is the point?
It's just completely random, but there's a thing with Spanish keepers. I don't know. They're all spooky. Even Raya. I'm sorry. I put
it's the style. You know what it is? It's their style. It's like a Spanish, because I've never rated Spanish goalkeepers.
Like,
the only one I rated was.
I wasn't really a big Caicedo fan like that.
No, neither was I.
Caicedo, no. Let me tell you, when they were going through their Galactico stage, when they weren't bothering buying any defenders, some of the saves he was doing was just the goalkeeper he was doing. I know he fell off.
Shot stopping's card. I just prefer my goalkeeper to be more dominant.
Because remember, he started I think he started 18 or 19 first goal. No, but he was keeping them in games because when Real Madrid was just buying like attacking players.
Yeah. I remember that era. That was a great era to watch.
Yeah, they fell off, and even like Victor Valdez, who I think is extremely overrated.
Oh,
do you know what I mean? Stuff like that. I can't remember any other Spanish. Oh wait, no, there was that one for Valencia. What was his name?
Canizares,
bingo, bonus point.
Canizares was actually decent. He's one of the few actually rated.
He was. But apart from that, we've had Claudio Bravo. He's Chilean actually, isn't he? He's Chilean.
Yeah, I think
he's from Chile. I think he's from Chile.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, sorry. So but apart from that, I mean, actually, when Jose dropped Casillas, it was a big uproar. But then he replaced him with Diego Lopez, who was actually outstanding goal. So it's like, but I understand what you're saying. It's like Spanish goalkeepers. Yeah, I mean, who's in goal now for Spain?
Unai Simon, and I'm not a big fan of him.
Never. I don't even know
he plays for Bilbao. ironically, the club that Kepa came from. Ironically,
Honestly.
like he was the replacement.
Honestly.
I hear you, man. Mohammed says, flawless. What's your De Gea legacy? For me, he's a club legend. He also won a Premier League, FA Cup, League Cup, Europa League. For me, I don't put him as club legend. He's fan favorite. That's where I have De Gea. He's a fan favorite. Legend is too far for me. And just because he won a Premier League, FA Cup, League Cup, Europa League, there's players who won more than that who I don't consider legends. Like, for example, I don't consider Oli a legend. And that's nothing to do with his managerial career. I put him as fan favorite. I put him as cult hero. And I love Oli as the player. Don't get me mistaken. But do I put him as a legend? No. Because the bar for us is different at Manchester United in regards to legends.
Yeah.
Like, it's more than just winning 4 trophies. It's more than just winning 6, 7 trophies. Like, there's so much more things. And again, this is just my personal opinion on it. Because I have players who I love, who I wouldn't class as legends type of thing. And he's up there. And like I say, Oli won everything multiple times. But I would not class De Gea as a legend. But again, everyone's different in regards to what their criteria is. But that's just me. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. That's all that is. Let's see what else you lot are saying as well. Taza said, now the deal to be completed this week. According to Fabrizio Hoyler, the next plan of action, so 3 signings before we sell any players. I'm not mad, United do a good business. For everyone complaining, we're moving efficiently, even at a quicker rate than I expected. So I don't really have. Go on.
United are slow in the market, though. That's what they were saying.
Yeah, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, things can't change. Like, tomorrow, like, Chelsea can't go and be bid for 3 players, and all of a sudden they're having a great window, or Spurs, or whoever else.
That's what I'm hoping. It's
things change on a day-by-day basis, legit.
I'm hoping that we're going to, one day, because we haven't bought anyone, but then one day it's going to be like 4 announced at the same time.
Yeah, that's what, and then all of a sudden you have your window's absolutely exceptional. We're far behind. This is the most efficient Manchester United have moved in a long time, because I was asking the question, when is the last time Manchester United made 3 or 4 more signings in July? And it seems that way. And you got to credit Ten Hag and credit all the people involved, whether you like them or not. Whoever's involved alongside Ten Hag, whether you like the Mount signing or not, was done quickly to an improving area. We've moved on De Gea or Onanas to improve an area. Hoyland, if it is the case, that's also to improve an area as well. And one thing I credit Ten Hag for, and someone mentioned this on Twitter, I think Tox retweeted it. Shout out to my bro Tox. And it's just how Ten Hag's improved the spine pretty much. Man's moved on Maguire. Look how much different the team is. Let's say it's Onana in goal. There's no De Gea. Our centre-back pairing was Lindelof and Maguire. Now it's Martinez and Varane. The midfield pairing was Fred and McTominay. Now it's Casemiro, Mount, Bruno, whoever you want to put in there. Up top, it was Martial. Now it's looking like a Hoyland. And that's forgetting improving Rashford. That's forget adding Malacia. And let's not forget adding Anthony, because we haven't had whether you rate him or not, we haven't had a right winger like that in the longest amount of time. Eriksen as well. So you got to give him credit for what he's doing. And he's doing it not in the best scenario. Yeah, definitely not in the best scenario. So I got to give him credit for being ruthless, because this is what I personally asked for. So if it is Hoyland, if it is Onana, and one more, that's a good window. That's a good window. And that's with our outgoings, because we have heard Henderson could be moved on. De Gea's now left. Fred could be going. McTominay could be going. Then you've got the likes of Lango, you've got the likes of Tellez, Bailly, Brandon Williams, etc., etc. So I got to give him for credit.
I feel like people think you have a good window if you're fast, rather than actually make signings. I think people mistake these two, because I remember last summer, of course, I was happy when we made the Perisic and Bissouma signing, and obviously Foster as a backup. I was happy, and it was very early as well. People got to remember. But then at the end of the window, I was very angry because of how the window ended. I don't care how well we start the window or how bad we start the window. For me, it's like, what's the finish line? Who's in? Who are the guys who came in to improve the team? And I feel like that's what I always said to United fans in the comments, like on these shows. Relax. Players are gonna come in. Yeah, maybe it doesn't sound right because you heard all these rumors about you have only a certain amount to spend. Never believe these type of rumors about you have a certain amount to spend, because I don't believe none of these rumors ever, most of the time. And the same thing is like, now I'm seeing in the fan base, like, oh, what's taking us so, like, it's got to the point that even Fabrizio has to come and repeat himself there. he has to come out and say again, like, yeah, we're still remaining in talks with Tapsoba and Van de Ven, but Tapsoba's the priority, but he's just more expensive. So if that is the case, I think they're just taking the speed time, trying to see what they can negotiate, and then when they have an idea if they can get the Tapsoba deal done, then they go in for the Tapsoba properly and trying to get it in. And if they realize, you know what, you were negotiating in background, and we didn't put too much news about, because I'm not somebody who likes I don't like news about, oh, your bid got rejected 3 times. I'm not on that. I'm like, yo, tell me if the deal is off or is on.
That's what I think with that's what's happening with the Caicedo thing.
Yeah.
Chelsea don't want this like 2 or 3 bid thing. They want like, okay, what we accept is that they're trying to sort out the payment structure, something like that. So what do you want up front, or how are we going to do this? Before they even, it's not even going to be a bid. It's literally going to be, what's the fee? This is it. It's agreed and one and done. And I think when it comes to Caicedo, he is our number 1 target.
Yeah.
This time it goes without doubt. Anything else, just anything else. So anything like with Vlahovic or something like that, it's just another thing. Once you get Caicedo in, I think you'll see a few more like over the weeks like that, like Vlahovic.
More deals will probably advance faster, but because to take the time with the Caicedo thing, because they're looking at as like the guy, they want to take the time.
Yeah.
They don't want to get these like Arsenal, and the Arsenal fans were trying to tell me about negotiations, about we putting in the first bid because we want to see how much lower can we bring the bid down for Rice. They paid more than they even thought they were going to pay for Rice.
Yeah,
and this
that's the
thing.
That's the thing. And that's why it's like Chelsea fans go, oh, why can't we get this deal done quick? It's like, first of all, Brighton don't have to sell, but they will sell. There's a price to do that. There's the importance of the player to both sides and the desperation of Chelsea for him. And it's a tricky transfer because everything's now about structure of payments and how much you're going to put down up front first. And then how you want to complete. Because the reason it took so long for even West Ham and Arsenal to even get this medical done was the structure of payment, because Arsenal want to do it over several years and West Ham are like, nah, we want this all done in 18 months. You know, we want it done by January 2025. We want this all done and sorted. So it's like, that's the whole thing now. It's like, the reason it just makes me laugh. It's like people don't understand. It's like, I swear I get like sort of. I know Manchester United are doing good business, but I sometimes wish if I was a United fan, why didn't we just like speak to Milan? What do you want, instead of going like 2 or 3 bids for an Arno? Do you know what I mean? Like coming in like
making people nervous and
because
shit.
Because you know why? And I have to mention this because what you said there, Surfer, is just too logical and too sensible. And Manchester United don't deal with that. We don't deal with logic and sensible when it comes to transfer dealings and things like that.
It's like the whole Mount thing. It's the whole Mount thing. It's like it's 3 bids, then we're gonna walk away. Well, no, we're not. We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait. We're not gonna move for 50, but we did. We're not gonna move from 70, but we did. And it's like, let's meet in a room. We know you're not. We know you are gonna pay more than that. We know we're not gonna get this. So what's the middle or something? 55. Okay, done. I don't. It's like. Unless you're like Arsenal, where we rejected the first Kai Havertz bid and they came back with more, like, okay, that's fine. Give us a 50 million, we're absolutely fine. But it's like, even
though another thing, like, what was the first bid floor? 45 plus 5, and now
I think it might be something around. It might have been 35 plus something.
Yeah,
which I don't mind is in terms of going with a lower offer and then like the seconds, because then one thing you do get with the first bid is then they will tell you and be like, all right, this is what we're looking for. Like, I don't mind, man, trying to save 15-20 million, because that 15 to 20 million can then go on another deal potentially.
But you know what the issue with doing another thing for me is, like, it was 5 million. Like, you want to tell me United want to be that stingy and want to be?
Yes.
I know the
back to what I said to Surfer, just logical and sensible. We don't deal with those 2 things.
5 mil, bro. Like, this is big money. This is like you would think this is Huddersfield. Like, if this is Huddersfield, I get it. You want to save any penny. Like Manchester, if Manchester really wanted to, they could have even paid even more for Mount if they really wanted to.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm saying. It's just stupid. And you know what it is with small? When you see those rejections, oh my god, we're not gonna get this player. Oh, we Flores. Are we gonna get him? Get him. I don't say it just puts panic in people. And I'm like, yo, people, why are you panicking?
Yeah,
Just
Right,
wait
it's
till
like-
people do like because people
people
love to
working-
panic. We are going to.
Fans will come up into a frenzy so much so that if the Caicedo deal gets announced, it won't. For some fans, it won't be like yes, we go. It'll be more like
Relief.
so. It'll be like they can't enjoy it, or they'll go, okay, who's next? Something like that. It's like listen. I think we can be. I think if they're forced, Chelsea don't. There's no one in for Caicedo at this moment in time. But it's like if they want him, I think they will. It's not like an Agate thing where it was like there was like, yeah, he's a good player, but we're not going to go all in and pay him for like an unknown. Essentially, they want Caicedo, stuff like that. If they get into a bidding war, I think they'll feel comfortable even without the European football without bidding someone if they have to, stuff like that. So.
100%. And to Ibrahim, who says, just back to this, what we were talking about, who are your legends, flawless, even fan favorite to gauge your bar? I even don't see Rude as legends, but I loved him. Yeah, Rude falls into the Ollie bracket, the De Gea bracket in terms of me, fan favorites. The legends is someone, how do I describe this? Legends is someone I'd put in, who if I do my all-time Manchester United 11, they're in the conversation and getting aside. So the likes of a Kane, the likes of the Scholes, Giggs, Cristiano Ronaldo, Rio Ferdinand, Dennis Irwin, those type of things. Also level as well. You also have to be of a certain level. You can't just been around for 10 years and just been good and been a part of the sides for me to put you in that. So it ties into putting you into my all-time Manchester United 11, but also talent level as well. Were you here performing at a world-class level? Like a Scholes was, like a Keane, like Stam did for 3 seasons, even though he was injured for one of them. Like Van Persie is tough because Van Persie, one of my favorite players. I don't think he's a legend, but he had a legendary season. So yeah, so if someone said Van Persie legend, like just for that one season
There's
alone,
legendary moments though.
Yeah, he just had a legendary season. But yeah, that's a legendary moment. Yeah. Best is before my time. Cantona, of course, gets in there. Of course, best before. So I can't comment on people beforehand.
Yeah.
Obviously, he is a legend, but I'm not going to say him. Is Rooney?
Yeah,
Rooney, of course.
I'm fine with saying Kai Havertz had a legendary moment. There's only one of 2 players to score in the final for us in the Champions League. Right. I classify that most of those guys who won the Champions League probably have the right to go down in the club's history as legends in terms of what they achieved, because they might be the only 2 sets of players to ever achieve that. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. No matter what you think of them as players overall, overall, I wouldn't classify Kai Havertz as a legend, but because he's part of that team, and we might not ever see that for a while. It's like, it's just how you get.
There's so many variables with this. It's so open to interpretation.
Yeah, I mean, there's obvious. I always like to think what other opposition fans think of players as well. Like, take bias aside, stuff like that. Or what do you think about, like, for instance, there's no doubt when you look at when other fans look at United, they'll list off a bunch of names, Giggs, on the field.
On the field. This is all on the field stuff. Yeah.
Rooney, Ferdinand, Keane, Scholes, Beckham.
All these man Giggs,
Beckham,
Andy
Cole,
York, Andy Cole. See that with
Maddison.
See, York I'd probably put. I don't even put as I put as a fan favorite personally.
But you wouldn't put him down as
I don't think I'd. Would I have York as a legend again? Because he's a part of a legendary team. But then there's not every player in that side I put in there.
Where would you put? What would you say about Michael Carrick?
Fan favorite. I won't put him in legend.
Oh really?
I wouldn't put Michael Carrick as a legend. Nah. If I seen a Michael Carrick statue outside the stadium, I'd be like,
Vidic.
You know what I'm saying?
Vidic and Evra?
Yeah. Vidic, yeah. Vidic and Evra, yeah. 100%.
Oh, okay.
Vidic and Evra.
What about Stam?
Yeah, Stam's my favorite centre back of all time.
Oh,
like Manchester United centre back. So he is without doubt.
Wouldn't Stam then be the same as York? Because he wasn't there for a while. I mean, he's part
True
of the...
that he was only there for 3 seasons. That's why I said there's exceptions to
Yeah,
the
same
rule.
as
and that.
same as York,
Yeah,
though, right?
so when I put York in, yeah, I suppose you because it's a legendary partnership with Cole, so I suppose so. Yeah, you're right. Actually, I'm bugging. York goes. Yeah, York falls into that bracket. Yes, but I'm just thinking because it's tough because there's so many. There's so many. That's what it is. But yeah, Cole goes in. York goes in there. Sorry, as well as obviously Cole does.
I wouldn't put. See, for me, Diego Costa's not a legend at Chelsea. He's a cult hero.
Well,
he's not a legend at Chelsea. Whereas like Didier Drogba is obviously a legend. Yeah. And like Nicolas Anelka, I don't think Nicolas Anelka's a legend, but he may be a cult hero as well. Stuff like that. Whereas like, where would I put Jimmy Fo Hasselbank? Cult hero again, probably. Idager Johnson's a good one actually.
Quality ball.
He skirts the line. He just skirts the line really. He might be a legend. I see Zola's a legend.
Oh yeah.
Zola Vialli, a legend.
Where'd you put Dennis Wise? Fan favorite?
Dennis, it's got a great song, you know. Dennis Wise. Have you heard the Dennis Wise song? Have you heard it? Oh, Dennis Wise scored an effing good goal in the San Siro with 10 minutes to go. Dennis Wise. That's a tricky one because the new age Chelsea fans wouldn't like Roman Alderweireld. They wouldn't know. That's a tricky one, you know. That is that's a head scratcher. That is
one of them. It's one of them you have to think about. You know what I'm saying? Larger Pepper
you're right.
Chat, though.
One because he was captain as well. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's tough. That one's tough, like it is. Hey, Warrior J, big up every single time, man. Large up everyone who is still tapped in. Like I said, continue to get your questions in. Please keep them Manchester United, Chelsea, or Tottenham Hotspur related. There's over 110 people in the building, only at 76 likes. Like check 1212. Let's get us up to 90 likes, people. Hit that like button and subscribe as well, because I know everybody here has not hit the subscribe button. So let's bump up the subscribers, get us to the 7 subscriber mark, 7,145. We're at 7,142. Looking for 3 new subscribers. Hit the subscribe button. Where would you put Di Matteo fan favorite?
He's a legend.
Legend, okay.
He won the Champions League, so he's the manager who won the Champions League. He's a legend.
Quickly, like I just completely random, but you know how the NBA was always this just off topic actually from this whole sport, but you know how the NBA wanted to do this whole in season tournament. They started from this season.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yes, we're gonna have it like you know how they know how we have our like Carabao Cups and FA Cups.
Yeah,
that's pretty much how they're gonna have it this season. I put information later in the group chat. But
all right, yeah, big up, man. Appreciate it. I know
this
question.
Are we gonna do?
Don't worry. Yeah, for this in-season tournament. When is it?
Yeah.
Once I know the deets, if it fits around the schedule, why not? 100%.
How many of the big stars are going to pull out with sudden injuries?
Yeah, because they have obviously cubes as well now. Like it's weird. Like that's a cube.
They do load management now for the regular season. And you're going to add some more games to it. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's true.
You know what? This is. I leave that more for the Q&A. I will guess for tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely something we can discuss. Once I know, have they put before we move on? Have they put like the schedule out in terms of time?
Yeah, they have like a pitch. They put out like a picture of like the schedule and everything. But like they haven't officially. They're gonna have it, but they already have it all in place. I think it's just sorted out on which date every team is gonna play.
Have a look. Now is Warrior J says Højlund is pushing to go to Manchester United. Manchester United will investigate the attacking issue after the Andre Onana deal, and that's from we'll invest. Yeah, it's hilarious. Investigate the issue. That's a new one that I've not heard. Alfredo Padula. Hopefully, Warrior J, man. Like I said, if Manchester United we've got Mount, we get Onana, then go get Højlund after and another midfielder. I'm all for that 110%. Like that's what we need to do without doubt. Let's see what else.
Actually, quick question: Would you feel as bad about the Mount signing as long as you sign another quality midfield of a certain level?
Yeah, not as bad because it's like all right. Yeah, I trust Ten Hag I trust Ten Hag to drop players when they're not in form.
Yeah,
out there, like I've seen him drop everybody pretty much to my knowledge. So yeah, it would soften the blow as much as I don't like
Mount.
as much as I don't like the Mount deal as well. Jacob says, Flawless, someone threw out today that United should sign Caicedo for the 100 million and then that would make y'all contenders for the league. Do you agree? No. We're much more further away from contending for the league than just that Caicedo. Would Caicedo be a big step in the right direction? Absolutely. But Manchester United still need more. And just before anyone says it, I'm not saying that Manchester United are going to sign Caicedo. Talking hypothetically, because Jacob asked me the question. So just to clarify, Jacob goes on to say, Jezbro, are you worried about the lack of centre-back news lately? I'm worried. Is that Tapsoba is off and we're only getting scraps?
No, I'm not worried. Like the club. I mean, I think Patricio has come out and put the information very clear, which should be obvious. In case Tapsoba is not gonna happen, we're gonna go in and just buy Van der Ven. It is already a thing where I believe this was the plan. Unless another club comes in for Van der Ven immediately and snatches him off us, I'm not worried about the left side of centre back news. I'm more worried about who is the second centre back that we want to buy. Because if it's Longley and then the backups are Longley and Dyer, then I need to cap the season because I know Romero at some point is going to get an injury. But yeah, about the lack of centre back news, like I said earlier with the United news, relax. Like, is us getting Tapsoba in tomorrow and us getting Tapsoba in a week before the Premier League season, for me, I don't really care, to be honest. As long as these guys come in, whatever. And to be honest, I said already, I prefer Van der Ven over Tapsoba, but that's just a personal preference. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't be opposed against either of the two, in my opinion. Like, I think people just have to relax with the thing. Like, I wouldn't be just free. And for me, the only time when I start worrying about it is if they came up and said we're not going in for either of the centre backs, so both of them as a no, then I would be worried.
First, no, I fully get what you're saying there. Flawless, would you take Felix on loan? Says football is the game. No. Bajan Pop says, what's going on with the number 9 spot? Are you keeping it over Mason? Don't know what's going on. When you know, I'll know. Like, we all gonna find out at the same time. I have no inside information or knowledge on that whatsoever. Warrior J says, Surfer, what are your thoughts on the Caicedo saga? And do you think Chelsea should get another midfielder after Caicedo?
To the second part, yes. I would get another midfielder. The first part, I don't think it's a saga. We haven't even bid. So it's not a saga yet.
You just agree terms, right? Just agree personal terms.
I think it's what I read is that Chelsea are treating this very differently. They don't want to do it. They don't want to turn it into a saga of 1, 2, 3 bids that it all play out and stuff like that. I think they want to know how much Brighton want. First of all, what they win, and also, I don't think they want to pay 100 million. I think this 100 million thing this week, I think it was just sort of 2 stories rolled into one from previous week, where they were saying Brighton would want 100 million if the pay structure was like lower, whereas they will stick to a 80 whatever add-on stuff like that if we give them a lump sum up front. So whatever that is, maybe that's a 50 million or something like that. So I think it's just a structure of the payments. I think, well, it's first agreeing the fee, then it's a structure of payment. When that's all done, it will literally be like that. Here we go. It will seem like a ridiculous how fast it will be, because it will be like that. None of this. That's what I'm presuming. None of this, like with the Man United Mount thing, was like 3 bids and then 1 week later, stuff like that. They don't want to do that because or the Arsenal, like Jess says, the Arsenal thing was like 3 bids, another club comes in and you pay what you didn't want to pay in the first place. But yes, I think should be. Do you know what? I think we might see a lot of movement this week regarding Caicedo, because we go out in pre-season the week after to the US. So I think we'll see.
Yeah, when do you guys fly? When do you guys fly for pre-season? Because I know it's not here.
I think it's either the 17th or just before. So it's like a week Monday.
Yeah, it's just a week. I know we playing West Ham like on the 18th.
Yeah, so it'll be like that. We've got a few weeks out there. We play about 4 or 5 games, and then we're back. Kick off against Liverpool. But yeah, we obviously want him in before then to acclimatise and stuff like that. But also the second midfielder. Yes, I would buy a second midfielder. Now, I will say this: I I've watched a bit of the under-21 tournaments. Everyone's praising performances. I don't really.
Oh yeah,
think
for
that
someone
much.
who asked about it, I've not watched it. I had no idea
Yeah.
England won. I didn't know what was going on. Or
I
anything
didn't.
like
Well,
Yeah.
I've watched a bit of it, but I looked at the Vega kid today.
He's
The
god awful,
under-21.
man.
I
He's
don't.
awful. Just it.
I don't see it myself. I saw more out of Mudryk this tournament than I did the Vega guy. So
The Vega kid is awful, man. I'm sorry. Like I saw him ball hugging today. He
I don't get
misplaced.
this. I don't get it. I don't get it. I think he's got more. I think he's got great PR.
Yeah,
So I think
flavor of the month.
Yeah. And big up Simon Pinero for the super chat. Much appreciated, my guy. He says, where would you rank an Enzo Caicedo double pivot compared to other midfields in the league? Well, we'll let you answer first, and then I'll answer, and Judd will answer as well. But yeah, go on, Serfo. Big up for the super chat, though, Simon. Much appreciated.
Big up.
On paper, I think it's up there because the Arsenal one's changed. So it's not Xhaka.
Right? What is it? Rice and Havertz?
I don't
It's
even
right.
know.
It's
Remember,
right. It's right.
Jorginho's- Jorginho's still there, by the way, isn't there? Roger, I think the Man City one. You know what? I think you might see it. I think Kevin De Bruyne is going to go deeper this deeper midfielder this season.
Oh my god,
This guy.
he's going all the way. New position still live.
I think. Listen, it was ironic because this week on Twitter, like I was Cam's like Cam tweeted out like he tweeted something like they were doing all the midfielders like apart from City, and they would say, "Oh yeah, look at this one, Enzo Caicedo and Cuckoo." And I was thinking, it's not even bloody bought Caicedo. So it's not, but I think on paper it's got a lot of potential. I think with him in the side, you'll see a better Enzo.
Absolutely.
As well, because it's criminal how Enzo was used by Frank Lampard. That's criminal.
Yeah, running around with Chukwuemeka and Galadog.
Oh yeah, that's it. No, just no Galadog. That's why I want another midfielder because I want Gallagher gone, and I think Andre Santos is going to be kept, and I think like Kane might be kept as well. I think yeah. So I want another midfielder, but on paper it has got a lot of potential. But remember, it's on paper.
Yeah. In regards to this, as a double pivot, because that's what you said, Simon, it's right up there. I'm saying as a rival fan, I don't like it whatsoever at all because I think it's potentially like take City aside. So take Rodri, whether it's Rodri De Bruyne or Rodri Bernardo Silva or whoever, even though they don't really play a double pivot, it's a three. Manchester City midfield aside is better than any double pivot Manchester United can put out to me. Currently better than any double pivot Spurs can put out. Arsenal, depending on what they do, because we don't know. Because you got Rice, you got Partey, you got Havertz, you got Jorginho. So depends what too. If it's Rice Partey, different conversation to then if it's Havertz and Jorginho, for example.
If it's Rice Havertz next season against Caicedo Enzo,
that's horrible pivot.
I'm trying
to think who other team. Liverpool, I think their midfield does look good. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, it's dependent.
But then again, they don't play a pivot.
Yeah, they don't play a pivot. But yeah, so it's kind of tough to answer the question. But yeah, go on, Jez. It's right up there before you go, Jez.
Yeah, for me,
I think it's a very good pivot. Is what
for me, if you talk about just pivots by itself, then I think I put it behind City, to be honest. Because I can never go away. I can never go against like City. For me, in every metric is first. I'm sorry, but they're the best team in the and. But if you're talking about midfield threes, like this is where we don't talk about pivots. Like let's say if hypothetically it's Caicedo, and Enzo and Nkunku, it's still up there in my opinion. I'll put that free midfield ahead of the Arsenal one because why? Because because Havertz is in the midfield. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Because Havertz himself is in midfield. And of course, could it potentially eat my words? I don't think so, but it could potentially, let's say, for the argument's sake, before I get as Arsenal fans storming me. For me, if this is the midfield for Arsenal, I think I rank that midfield lower than ours. I think that's worse than Bissouma, Bentancur, Maddison. Rice, Havertz, and
Ooh, I forgot you lot got Basuma. If you don't get a serious midfielder, your midfield could be serious
this
with Basuma, Maddison, and someone else because they're two players are right. I think you just need one more.
This why I've been screaming for us to sign another midfielder. To be honest, like I feel like there's really I think there's really like I think there's really good potential there. And from what I'm hearing, unlike the last manager that I don't want to mention, Postecoglou has, I think.
Wait, who's the last manager you don't want to mention? Who?
I'm not going to mention him. The guy.
Conte.
Conte. All right, okay.
The guy
I got your hate for Conte.
Unlike that manager, that Postecoglou already come out and talking about how he's a very, very big Basuma fan. He can already imagine him in his system and how it's going to work out in the six. So you have Maddison and Basuma there. Everybody can fight for the left side.
I think you should sign that Anana from Everton. Right.
See, the issue is not that I don't disagree with it. I think the issue is
that would be a bad boy midfield. I can't lie. I could see that working.
I don't. For me, I would take that midfield compared to what I've seen in the couple of seasons.
Then you can let Maddison roam free.
Mm-hmm. I think I agree with that, but I think there's the issue of the principles of Postecoglou's system. Because he wants all his midfielders to be ball playing and have some sort of level of security about them.
Right.
And I think Onana probably lacks the level of ball security that he has.
Yeah.
That's why you see guys like Højbjerg getting linked out of the club now. All the guys who don't have enough tech on the ball.
Are you surprised no one's been linked to that Nunes from Wolves? Remember there was all like the big things.
Yes,
like, Liverpool were linked for him and stuff like that.
My thing with Nunes is just like when you look at his game, I think he doesn't affect the game to a level that people thought he could. I think people looking at it from a perspective, they're looking at the beginning of the perspective of, I look at him, he's a very good ball carrier. But I think people are not looking over what does he overall does, like how is his defensive contribution? How does he affect the game in the final third? I think people were only looking too much into his ball carrying. That's why I'm not surprised that people don't look at him right now. And I agree. Like I think there's really, especially if Basuma comes good this season, we know what Maddison is about. Like for me, if we can only get that 1-8.
Well, Ruben Neves would have been great for you, I think.
That guy
would have been a mixture between like sitting midfielder and a sort of like a sort of creator sort of thing. Because you saw him when he did that against you lot this season when he controlled the midfield. I know they lost, you beat them, but if you had like Basuma sitting sort of, and then Neves allowed to just go a little bit ahead, but also Noah surrounded that leave Maddison up there, it's a very good mixed midfield.
Yeah, like with enough experience as well in this league as well, which would have been nice. But it's going to be interesting. I just don't think we're going to sign another midfielder, personally, unless Højbjerg gets sold.
The issue is you got Bentancur's injury. He's not going to be back for about a year.
Yes.
Fully fit, but like able to play matches. We have no idea what ACL, midfield runner stuff.
He had an MCL. The good thing is he had an MCL, so it is not as bad as an MCL. Yeah, so we got lucky with that one, but you never know. Yeah, go on.
I think there's going to be a lot of focus on midfield this year in the Premier League.
Well, of course.
In terms of battles, like in actual, like even up to the games, it's going to be basically 3 against 3 essentially. Because everyone's going to include Nkunku in the midfield thing, even though he's like a number 10 essentially. Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be interesting.
But I think you know why? Because I think people just figured it out and looked at Liverpool and City for so many years, and we always talk about how the strongest positions are always midfield.
Yeah, agreed.
And big up to Daniel as well, man, who just became a member. Large up to Daniel, just became a member at the highest level, Sarcasm City General. So salute to Daniel. All right, Daniel, I'll reach out to you. Like I'll be reaching out to all the members who are eligible for the members Q&As at the members Q&A as well. And obviously as a Sarcasm City General, you get all the Q&A on the YouTube as well as the Twitch. That's just two of the great perks in regards to the membership. Link for the membership is in the pinned comment, people. So check it out. And that being said, if there's anything you want me to add to the membership, let me know at any level. If there's any ideas or anything, please let me know, and I will do my best to add that to the to the membership to get even more people to join up to the membership at whatever level. But how you can support for absolutely free people. Let's bump up these likes. Right, 81 likes. Let's get up to 100. Let's go up to 90 likes, people. Let's get up. Only asking for 9 more likes. Hit the subscribe button as well. We're still free short of 7,145. What are we indeed doing? And on top of those things, don't forget we are available on audio-only platforms, people. SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you listen to podcasts, type in Sarcasm City TV. And this show and all the other shows on the YouTube channel, apart from watch-alongs, are available on audio-only platforms. So SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes. So you might just not want to have the YouTube app open. You might be cooking, might be cleaning, you might be at work, you might be on your way to work, you might be in the gym, whatever. You might just prefer to indulge in your podcast in audio only, which is absolutely fine. And if there's any audio platform that the shows are not on, please let me know and I get uploaded to that as well. Because we more than just a YouTube channel and a Twitch channel, people. I'm saying in that we actual podcasting audio platforms. Links for those are all underneath in the description, and I'll drop it in the chat again as well. Hey, and big up to my guy Rhino in the cut says bump up the likes, people. Big up Flawless in the panel. Large up to my guy Rhino. Go subscribe to his channel as well. Warrior J says, oh no, we got to that one. There was another one. There was another Chelsea question I wanted to get to. Where was it? Let me see. Here it is. Warrior J says Chelsea are set to hold new contract talks with Levi Colwill. Chelsea position is he's not for sale to anyone, and that's from Fabrizio Romano. Thoughts?
Here's the thing, right? Everyone doesn't know this, but he's got 2 years left in his contract plus an option of 1 further. So in essence, he's got 3 years left in his contract. Yeah. We don't even have to offer him a new contract. That's the thing. Poch just has to make it clear what what he wants from him this season, what his plan for him this season. There was a video after the game tonight where he's on I don't know what he's on his Insta or something, and Maddison was going, "Yeah, we're both coming back," and people are going, "Oh no, he didn't do this and didn't do that." I said, "Shut up, man."
I call them body language warriors.
Yeah, body language experts all of a sudden and stuff like that. And I okay, if you want to do body experts, maybe a contract's already been agreed, but he doesn't want people to announce it, stuff like that. If you want to take it that far, listen, halfway's been clear for him. Koulibaly's gone. I think Trevor Chalobah will be sold, and Thiago Silva's in his last year, I believe, at Chelsea. Badashile is actually out injured.
Is it Badashile injured?
He'll start. I doubt whether he'll start. This, just a side note, why don't people have a problem with 2 right-footed centre-backs in the same team, but 2 left-footed centre-backs is a problem? I don't get this. Where was the issue when Rudiger was playing left centre-back, but he's right-footed in the back 3? Where was the problem then? But anyway, listen, I think if you lay out the plan for him, stuff like that, what he wants to do, even if Poch has to lie to him to get him to stay, do you know what I mean? I honestly think we're in no rush. This is still in our hands. So I think he'll stay. I think he'll sign a new contract. Even if it's like next year he signs a new contract. I think he'll play a lot this season. You know what? He could establish himself. He looked, remember, under 21 tournament, people. Under 21 tournament. So you have to put an asterisk beside it. And last year he looked comfortable. He looked comfortable as well. There's big things about this guy. There's big talk about this guy. Even outside of Chelsea, there's big talk about this guy. Yeah, I think there's nothing to worry about unless he comes out and actually says he doesn't want to stay. And obviously, yeah, we'll sell him. But I think he'll stay, and I think he'll play a lot of games this season. He looked very comfortable. I know he gave away a penalty today.
I think that wasn't even a pen, to be honest.
I don't think it was as well, but he looked very comfortable again. He's in the defence that hasn't conceded. Remember, it's an under-21 tournament, so take of it what you will. But even at Brighton last season, he looks very comfortable on the ball. Yeah, and like we said, we said he's not for sale. This is probably why the Caicedo thing's taking a while as well, because he keeps probably coming back every other message going, will you include Colwill in this? It's like, no. you want to take a centre back, take Trevor Chalobah. If you want to take a centre back,
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Nah. They're gonna be like,
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah.
The thing is, I
He's
do
a very-
think, I can understand why Brighton are though. Like, in my opinion, for me, it's not even just as under 21 or Brighton's 10. I think I've been already convinced about this guy since Huddersfield. I think when he was
Right.
there on loan. For me, I've been already convinced from them, to be honest. And I can see why a lot of people hype him to the level, to the extent, because I think they haven't seen just a centre back that is on this level of ball playing ability. Like he's the
Right.
proper like he's the modern day centre back that people don't see in the English centre back most of the time. Yes, Stones, but who else? Fucking Maguire, who is slow as hell.
I think the
Like,
most one would be probably Vardiol.
yeah,
Both left-footed. Vardiol's obviously got more experience in playing in Europe and
Yes.
and at the World Cup and stuff like that.
so
I just
feel
think I just think we're Chelsea are in no rush. Even if he
Oh,
like,
yeah.
has a bit, even if he has doubts, it's like, well, okay, we've got a whole. We've basically got 3 years. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think it's a club. I think it's a club option to extend it as well. It's not like
yeah,
a
that's what I
player
was
option.
asking earlier in the group
So
chat
it's
as
like
well.
essentially we've got like Poch's got like a whole season or so to convince him and convince him by playing it.
Mm.
But it's like I don't think this whole thing that some Chelsea fans are saying, how could he demand a first team place? I think you misread it. He's not demanding a first team place. He's just demanding like, am I going to get minutes? Do you know what I mean?
Which
Stuff
is
like that,
fair.
and which is fair, right? And I keep saying to people, this old school thing of now young players have to wait to 22, 23. That's not happening anymore. It's happening at like 18, 19. They want in the team, right? And you either go, yeah, that's fine, or you go, no, on your way. And you live by the sword or die by the sword, and you may regret it, you may not regret it. But here's an idea: if you think they're going to do well, put a buyback clause on them or something like that.
That's what I said. Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's like that.
absolutely.
Well, I think the issue with that one is I feel like the reason why clubs don't really do that with extents with someone like Culver's situation is because they fear that, because even with the buyback clause, the player can still refuse to come back. Like he's not forced to come back. But
Yeah.
then again, it's Chelsea, so it's like it is a prestige club. It's not like, oh, it's a buyback clause, but you're going back to Brighton. Like, it's not the same thing.
But I don't, like I said, it's not even like even thinking about it. It's like no, not for sale. It's like a Chelsea are like every single time. Every single time it's like no, it's like non-negotiable. The players we're getting rid of, and he's one of the ones that are like there's non-negotiable. There's very little. There's a tiny amount of players that are non-negotiable at Chelsea this summer. It's just very, and he's one of them. I think that should say a lot to him as well. And that we are refusing to sell you.
Facts.
I mean, that's how highly we think of you. You know what I mean?
Facts.
It's your chance. This is your chance to establish yourself. You know?
Yes.
Like I said, we've got 3 young centre backs. And you've got Thiago Silva for a year to mentor you. Something like that. Take the opportunity. And run with it. And see what you can do.
No, facts. I hear that. Love to everyone who has indeed tuned in. You know what I'm saying? Big up to everyone supporting. I always love doing this show because you lot like this. So we're going to constantly keep it at this time as well. Every Saturday midnight, you get the Manchester United Chelsea Spurs show. And even when the season starts back, this will be the time slot for the show as well. Yeah, Warrior J saying here again, Manchester United are set to sign Onana as next week after agreeing terms with Inter Milan. That's from Chris Wheeler DM. So hopefully it is done by next week. That's why I'm indeed hoping for as well. Love to everyone that's locked in. If this is your favorite show on the channel, there is a playlist for it. So you clicked on, so just check out the playlist for this show or all the other shows. And because it's been the transfer window, the summer months, there is a summer transfer window playlist for this show and all the other shows on the channel. And then obviously once the Premier League and the rest of the Champions League, Europa League, etc. all start back, I will create a new playlist for all for the 2023/24 season as well. But big up to everyone who's tuned in, man. I hope you lot have enjoyed the show. Well over 100 in here for pretty much all of the show, so big up. We're going to continue to produce content. We're back tomorrow. Sarcasm City Sports Q&A on the YouTube at midnight. I know I didn't do a fan calling show on the Thursday, so what I will do is probably tomorrow at some point do a fan calling show over on the Sarcasm City TV Twitch. Let me not forget as well, Victor is holding down on the Twitch as well, the F1 British Grand Prix. So any F1 fans, make sure you head over to the Twitch because you got Victor holding down all the F1 shows. So watch alongs for the Grand Prix and shows in between as well. So that's 3 p.m. UK time for people, 3 p.m. UK time, British Grand Prix over on the Sarcasm City TV Twitch, where you get a whole load of other Sarcasm City TV content. So download the Twitch app for free, sign up for free, and then that way you can comment and watch on the Twitch the same way you do here on the YouTube. But yeah, man, big up to everyone who's locked in, man. I hope you lot have enjoyed the show. Surfer, anything else you want to add before we close out?
No, just make sure you freeloaders hit the like button. That's all it is. You know what I mean? Or else, you know.
Yes,
you know,
Jez, what are you saying?
Just want to say to everybody that was casting the dumbbell for his body language in those recent training videos that I've been seeing, he looks happy to me, and he looks happy to be there. So hashtag body language. That's all I have to say.
All right, love to everyone that's locked in. I'm not sure if Alam's going live, but I've redirected to his channel anyway, so make sure you go subscribe to Toronto Hoop Talk. But love to everyone that's locked in. This has been the Manchester United, Chelsea, Tottenham Hotspur show. Mandem United, Ballers at the Bridge, talking that Tottenham talk, podcast live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube. Thank you very much for tuning in.